I've been reading through your comments. I always read through your comments. I always check the comments. I always appreciate the comments, particularly the nice ones, of course. And I thought I'd do a little video, a little something different, to reply to a few of the comments that had made really good points off the back of a couple of videos I did. So a couple of people putting me right, telling me where I got things wrong. A couple of people making other suggestions and other observations about what's been going on in the world of... Well, it's not even the world of West Ham, is it? It's been basically the world of football. And I look red, don't I? Those lights are making me look a bit red, a bit tanned. I stole them from a tanning salon. Don't know what's been going on, really. Tune in tomorrow, see what happens. I'm joking, I didn't really steal those lights, I bought them. Anyway, yeah, so comments, thank you very much for popping all the comments up there, particularly the nice ones. They're all very, very much appreciated. And I always try and reply to, as many as I possibly can. And also get on and do the next video as well. Anyway, I'm waffling. Let's have a little look, shall we? And have a look at what you lot have been writing. So this video was the one... I'm going to say will merge into one, don't they? This one was called Fantasy, but Fantasy, Hypocrisy, whatever. If I keep doing these uploads, I'm going to run out of words anyway. So, what have we got? I like this one's from Neil Cooper. Now, Neil says, he says, good one, Gonzo. He says, but I think once all this crap is over, people will need to spend money on other things more important than football. It's going to take a long time for everyone to get back to normal. I, for one, have 3 season tickets, and I've had them for 18 years, but needs must, and I might well have to go back to 1. Now, I thought that was really... the reason that caught my attention, thanks for writing, Neil, is... I don't know what I'm doing about my season ticket, quite frankly. Now, obviously, I don't know, because I don't know what they're going to do. I think I might have mentioned it on another video. But if the club, announced tomorrow that they were going to renew the season tickets, I couldn't afford it. There's no way. Which put me in a right funny position. Now, it looks like they're probably going to give a rebate on whatever was missed last season. Speaking to Gio seemed to think it would be in the region of 140 quid, something like that. Would that help? Yes, it would. But what he says about the other season tickets is one. I tell you what, there's no way I would be able to do mine and my son's. No chance at all. And I do wonder how many people are going to be in the same boat, because I already feel that the tickets, particularly the lower tier tickets at the London Stadium, are low. They're cheap. They're cheap tickets. So you can't expect a club to reduce them further. I do wonder what then happens. Let's say the dreaded relegation happens, because they're not going to be able to put the tickets up for sale until they know that either the season's not going to be played, or they might have an inkling that we might be in the Championship if it is. If we don't, if we lose our next couple of games and they're done on a sort of round robin type fast format, then I think even worse. I just think Neil's absolutely right. Nobody's going to have the money to do this sort of thing. So it's just another aspect I hadn't really thought of. Crowds are going to be down when we get back to this. I think there'll be an initial flurry to get back, but I'm talking about next season. A lot of people can't afford their tickets. I would imagine it can be anything other than unemployment is at a record high after all this. Lots of companies are closed down. So, yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows? Oi Oi Ducky, I think he used to be something else. I think he keeps changing his name. He said, footballers used to work and play. Work and play. Sorry, I'll tell you, let me give this a bit of context. I got into the subject that about footballers saying they have a short career, so they need to earn as much money as possible. And I said, well, their career is about a third as long as yours or mine. So they should get 3 times as much. If that's their argument, I'm not making the argument, that's their argument, that's what they say. Our career's short, we need to get as much money as possible. So I think, okay, it's a third as short. 3 times more money puts you even with everybody else, doesn't it? And what Oyo Ducky's saying is footballers used to work and play. He's absolutely right. They used to play and they used to have jobs. He said players, so they have no idea. Imagine if you go into a co-op and there's Noble. Imagine bumping into Mark Noble in a co-op. Now, I don't know where Mark Noble shops. Probably not the co-op. And if you did bump in to Mark Noble in the co-op, if I bumped into Mark Noble at the co-op, I'd probably say something stupid like, what are you doing here? I only say that because it's happened to me before, not in Mark Noble. I once bumped into Lenny Henry in a petrol station in Shepherd's Bush. And I said to him, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Oh, hello, Lenny Henry, what are you doing here?" He said, "I'm getting petrol." I seem to have this pattern of doing that. I bumped into Jordan Hugill. You know this story. I've told it a number of times. But I bumped into him outside the London Stadium. I said, "Jordan," I said, "what are you doing here?" Clearly, I've got a pattern. Saw Alan Pardew in my bedroom. Said to him, "What are you doing here?" I didn't. That's not true. I was in my wife's bedroom. Anyway, Tone. You know Tone. Stands next to me. Sits next to me at the football. We do our post-match reviews together. Instant reaction. He says to me, he's not my saying to me, he's saying to all of you in the chat. He said to add to the football's careers being only a third as long as normal careers, that's also flawed because footballers have a lot of spare time. What he's basically saying, he goes on to say, is they've got so much spare time on their hands, they can actually enhance their CV for when they stop working. There's no reason that they couldn't do a university degree. There's no reason that they couldn't study. There's no reason that they couldn't actually, whilst working, earning lots and lots of money, enhance their careers further. Maybe you could take the law bar. Is that what it's called? Something like that, isn't it? But he's right. He's right. They played a wounded soldier, but they're not that disadvantaged. You can go and better yourself. He goes on to say somebody somewhere, many choose not to because clearly they believe they don't have to. He said only when they suddenly suffer a career-ending injury do they basically cry wolf about being left on the scrap heap. Yeah, I mean, he's not on his. I mean, to be fair, there are some that buck the trend there. Slaven Bilic, our former manager, he actually did study for law while he was doing it. Had it all have gone wrong in football for him, he could have been a solicitor. I remember Graham Lasso doing something as well. Graham Lasso was quite a smart guy. He was hoovering up degrees when he was doing all the football stuff. Lee76 says, what I don't get is a club like Barcelona is never brought up for financial fair play, yet within a couple of weeks of the pandemic they are worried about the club going under due to the vast wage bill. Yeah, they got some funny old rules for Barcelona and Real Madrid. Real Madrid got so skint. Now, I think the King of Spain, as I remember it, Real Madrid, the King of Spain bought Real Madrid's training ground for loads more than it was worth, and then gave them a bit of it back. And it was sort of a dodgy way for them to inject. I think I might have the numbers. I think it might have been something like 400 million or something like that. I mean, you can check it out yourself. But certainly something that won't be allowed now with FFP. But I want to get onto UEFA and FIFA in a minute, actually, because there was another comment here which really, which really, really got me. Phasmania says there won't be crowds allowed back for a long time, talking about the football, and he's absolutely right. I think he's going to be a slow wait, a long drawn out wait on this one. And I'll tell you something as well. They say that they're going to review on Thursday, and they might extend the lockdown for another 3 weeks. They're not going to say anything different. What they're going to do is they're always going to give you the news with a sprinkle of sugar on top, aren't they? So they're always going to say the best case. They're not going to say we're going to lock you down for 4 months. They'll say we'll review it after 3 weeks. Then we'll review it. If it gets Thursday, we'll review it after 3 weeks. They'll get to 3 weeks and say, do you know what? We'll review it after 2 weeks. I would imagine they will keep on doing something like that. This is the comment that really, Name that noble. I didn't do it, did I? I am terrible at this. Name that. No, I'm going to do it now. Bring it up now. Name that noble. Who's that? I'll tell you what. I told you this one would be easy. It's not. It's hard. I was thinking of something else. I was thinking of another one. This is difficult. I didn't get this one either. You've got to know your West Ham stuff to know this. Name that noble. I'm going to let it run. Do you know who it is? Any idea? Come on. It's Alan Kirbishley. With no hand. No hand. I was only talking about Alan Kirbishley yesterday on the phone to Nigel Khan. How's that? Then up pops Dom. Thank you, Dom, for doing that. We'll name that noble of Alan Kirbishley. Sorry, I almost forgot. Back to the old Dewberry What's It. Right. J.G. Ballard. Thank you for writing this in, my friend. Thank you very much indeed. I was talking about lower league clubs getting into administration or liquidation. My point was they could already be in massive trouble and we just don't know it yet. Okay, I'm just saying it may well take the dust to settle for us to realise fully how many clubs went under in this period. I just said we might not find out about it yet because administrators and liquidators and whatnot, and the administrative team needed to put a club into administration or liquidation would not be able to go into football clubs at the moment because of social distancing. Mr. Ballard says when it comes to administration, it's even worse than that, Gonzo. He said, with the current rules, any team in the Championship who goes into administration would suffer a points deduction either this season or next. Now, that is massive. You've got to think that is going to change. That can't be allowed to continue. That cannot be allowed to happen. Because it's nobody's fault. Right? It's nobody's fault. It's just happened as a result of what's gone on. It's a result of the fact that the country's in lockdown. That would be very, very wrong if somebody got a 12-point... did he say 12 points, didn't he? Something like that. Anyway, I think it's 12 points. I don't know if he specified. The club got a 12 points deduction for something that was out of their hands. Would be bang out of order. But here's the bit, and he goes on to say, even in the Premier League, currently UEFA are saying that if any league ends their season early, they give up their European places for the next campaign. I've never heard such deluded rubbish. Not from J.G. Ballard, of course. Thank you for writing in, my friend. No, it's rubbish. It is absolute rubbish. Because UEFA and all that stuff, they are irrelevant at the moment. UEFA and FIFA are scrambling around trying to sound relevant. Let me tell you. Here's how the pattern will go. Domestic football back on at some point behind closed doors. When they feel that either they're not going to get a vaccine anytime soon, but some form of therapy, something that can just reduce the deadly aspects of this disease by at least 30% or something like that. Some drug that can at least start to control the fatal symptoms. They might start letting groups in together. They feel it's safe. They think this herd immunity thing happens, whatever. But that will be the next stage. So first of all, football behind closed doors. Then some fans get allowed into the stadium. Then they will just be trying to get a domestic football calendar up and running. The domestic football calendar, so I don't know why I'm pointing at you. It's not you, is it? It's not you. I'm sorry, I don't mean to point at you. Very rude. The domestic football calendar is going to be hard enough to get back on track anyway. All right? It really is. The very thought that there might be some international and some European games going on is ludicrous. It is the last thing. It is the least important thing. I'll tell you what, UEFA should be grateful, because I'll tell you what, this has taken a mighty hammer. Not our hammer, not the not the what's-its, but I mean a crushing blow to any hopes of the elite teams forming the European Super League. This has done it. You're done now, boys. You know what I mean? And good. But I'll tell you what, I think BA, Virgin, all the airlines, can't see many airlines really surviving through this and the rest of it. I think 80%, I know people that work here, like plenty of people that work at Heathrow, work at the airports, 80% of staff are down it. They're gone. Some of them have just lost their jobs anyway. There is no way everybody, all the countries, are going to start opening their borders to everybody at the same time. European football, international football, will be the last thing that possibly happens. I'm going to tell you that now. So what UEFA have got to do with anything? If anything, this has shown the importance. If anything comes out of this stronger, it may well be the domestic game. We're going to lose some clubs. That thing is going to be bad. But what I mean is the importance of the domestic game. How maybe the elite clubs turn their nose up. They frown at the at the Burnleys and the Southamptons of this world and stuff like that. They think they don't need them. We don't need them. We're going to go and play Juventus. We're going to go and play AC Milan. No, you're not. No, you're not. I mean, you're really not going to get two sets of governments agreeing very, very early that flights can open up, the infrastructure, the players. People, they don't get, they don't understand. People are still going to be safeguarding their own citizens, their own workforce. That's what's going to happen. It is, every country just wants to safeguard its own health service and keep its citizens safe. So it does make me laugh. UEFA saber threatening what they're going to do to the domestic game. Quite frankly, I'll stick two fingers up at them. I don't think we need them. Well, I'd say that, West Ham fan, aren't I? Of course, we don't qualify for the stuff, and if we do, we only go out to some team we've never heard of anyway. But I do. For them saying, we will sanction you, if you don't finish your domestic season, you can't qualify for the Champions League. There ain't going to be a Champions League, you idiots. That's it, really. Sorry, I didn't do many questions, did I? If I carry on, this video is going to be an hour long, and it don't really fit with the daytime videos, so to speak. So I will love you and leave you then. Thingy, that name that noble. That was difficult, wasn't it? Tough one. Anyway, I'm gonna keep working on my suntan. I will catch up with you lot tomorrow.